Hey folks, it's Chad here with Airstream of Greensboro, the North Carolina Airstream dealer in North Carolina, in the Carolinas. Now I'm here today with the 25 RB Flying Cloud, and I want to demonstrate how to deploy the Zip Dee awning that you're going to find on the Bambi, the Caravels, and the Flying Clouds in the Airstream travel trailer lineup. Now the question I get a lot is, one, Chad, how hard is it to deploy the Zip Dee manual awning? And then two, how do you do it? So we're going to answer both of those questions today. Let's get started. Now with the manual Zip Dee awning, as far as difficulty, it's really not that difficult to deploy this awning. Now, yes, it's more difficult than the powered Zip Dee awning, but the plus with the manual is there's no electronics, there's no motors, there's no power, there's nothing running to it, it's all manual. It's very unlikely to break over the lifetime of ownership. Now, as far as the biggest trick that I will tell you is if you can carry a 1 or 2 step little step stool with you, that makes the deployment of the awning much quicker and easier. You're gonna have 2 travel locks, you actually have 3 travel locks, but the first one's gonna be right there in that corner. Then you have the same thing on the back corner, and then right towards the back corner, there's actually a little hook that hooks into place to kind of hold the awning against the coach as you're traveling. Now this one here is very easy to get to because I can open the door, simply step up here and pull that off, unscrew it, pull it off. The one on the back is going to be a little bit difficult to get to unless you have a step stool and you just get up there. So what you're going to use is your awning tool arm to get up to that one. And then the main travel lock, and this is the lock that I would use when I'm actually camping. So once I'm finished, I want to put the awning away, whether it gets windy or it starts to rain or I'm just leaving the campsite. And remember, always put your awning away when you leave the campsite. Never leave the campsite with the awning deployed. That's the lock I'm going to use when I'm finished putting the awning up, but I'm not leaving. So I'll just lock that one back down. And theoretically, you probably don't have to do anything, but I at least recommend that. When you go to leave camp and to head back home, that's when you want to put the travel locks back in place and lock those down real good, okay? All right, so we're going to move back a little bit so you can see me pull the actual awning out. Now from here, you're gonna just use your awning arm. I always like to close this door. You can open it with the door open. I've done that a couple of times and not had a problem, but I do like to close the door. You're gonna grab the strap here using your awning arm and then just pull it out until you can reach the strap. And then from there, you don't actually need the arm anymore. So you can just throw that down kind of out of the way. And then from here, you're going to basically grab underneath here. So it's spring loaded, it wants to go back up. So from here, you want to grab the fabric and hold on to it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down until I get to that side, and then I'll lock it in place. Now, kind of a pro tip is, one, go ahead and fold this up. So I basically kind of half it, and then half it again. And then from here, I can fold it to here. And then there's a little strap that this will tuck into. Tucks in just like so. You tuck that right in there, and then this will hang out of the way like so. Now I like to, once I get the awning out, Tim Maxwell, our Airstream rep for the East Coast, gave me this secret, and that is, from this point you basically just want to stay inside under the awning. So from here I can walk down and get to this point, and from here I'm going to still hold on to the fabric to keep the arm down, and I can actually move over and just hold the arm down. I'm going to pick up the first support arm, and it is going to come in right there. And it there's a little spot you can kind of see between the outer arm and the actual tube that this will sit in. And from here, you're going to push down, and it's going to lock this into place so that the awning stays out. And I'll do that. And basically, there's a little acorn. I'm going to put my hands here. And the biggest thing I can tell you is, don't be afraid that you're going to break it. It does take a little bit of force to deploy or to get this to lock in place, and I'll show you. So it's locked in place. If you feel that you don't have the strength to do it from the inside, you can come to this side and kind of hold on to it like this, and then use your body weight to pull it back. Basically, you're just locking it into place. You'll feel a little bit of a spring there that locks it in place. Now what we're going to do is go to the other side and do the same thing. Now walking to the other side, it's locked in on the front, right? So it's not going to go up, but I do like to kind of, once I get over here, and I'll keep a hand on this as I walk. Now, as far as putting this side up, same thing as that side. You're going to grab onto this. At this point, it's unlocked, so you can shorten it and lengthen it. There's a little spot here, as I mentioned over there, that's going to set in place. You want to make sure that's fully looped around or hooked around that arm. And then again, I'm going to put one finger around that acorn nut, and then from here, just push down, and it's in place. The first couple of times you do it, it's going to feel weird, but after you've done it a few times, it's really simple at that point. It becomes much easier, I guess, because you kind of know what to expect. So from here, there's also a little lever that pulls out, and this has multiple points where it can pop into place for different varying heights. There's basically 3 heights. You want to start with going to the second height on this side, and then move to the other side to go to the 3rd point, and then you can come back and raise this one. Now, with this being the back of the coach, I'm going to leave it at the 2nd spot, and then open that side to the 3rd spot. That way the awning is tilting to this side a little bit, and if I do get a small rain, the rain's just going to run off this side. So what I'll do is I'm going to take one hand right here. I'm going to use my right hand. I'm going to put left hand here, right hand here. I'm going to unhook this, and it's not going to go anywhere. Unhook it, and then holding it out, I'm just going to push it up until I lock into place. Now I'm in the 2nd spot, so that is home there. That's the 1st spot. That's the 2nd spot, and then there's another one about right there. Let's roll around to the other side, and we'll go up 3, okay? Now, as I walk to this side, they're locked in place, so I don't have to hold anything. On this side, I'm going to go to the 3rd position, because I'm already on the 2nd position there. What that will do is tilt the awning towards that back side. So any water that you might get, rain, light rain, will go off that side and not this side. And more importantly, it won't kind of collect in the middle of the awning, which will ultimately break the awning. So on this side, I'm going to do the same thing I did there, but I'm going to go all the way up. Pull that first, and I'm going to hold it out, go all the way up, and now I can go past that 3rd position. Actually, we went past it. But once you get about that distance, you can just let this go. If you go past it, do what I just did there, let go, and then bring it back down a little bit. So that's the awning deployed. This side is slightly higher than that side. Now, if it's the front bed model, so the bed is up here, the entrance door is there in the back, I would do the reverse of that. So this side would be lower, that side would be higher. Now, as far as putting the awning away, it's simply the reverse of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this arm. I'll lower this one all the way back to home. Now I'll go back to that side and lower it to home, and then basically put the awning away. So let's start here. So the trick here is to use the resistance of this inner arm against the outer arm. And what that's going to do is it takes the weight of the awning off of me and puts it into, I don't know, engineering, whatever that would be, science maybe. So I'm going to lift up here, and from here I'm going to use a finger or a hand. So I'm lifting with the right hand, pull that out, and then from there I can start to lower it. Now you can see that as long as I keep a little bit of resistance, a little bit of pressure against the awning, I can control how fast the awning comes down, and then it locks right into place at the home position. I'll do that again. So on the 3rd one, and I can really do it with one hand. I was doing it with 2 hands just to kind of make sure I was keeping control. Actually, let me move the camera kind of facing this way. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to just pull up on it a little bit, and I can let that out. So now I'm using the resistance of this inner arm against the outer arm to lower the awning in a very controlled and safe manner. And right there, I can let go. So now I'm going to that home position, and it's locked in place in the home position. Now right here, the next thing I'm going to do is put this upper arm away. There is a pull tab here, and that's going to release the tension that's on this, that's keeping this out and helping keep the awning in the right shape. So I pull that down. That's just going to release. There's not much else that I do from there. And I can lift this up and kind of shrink it up a little bit. And then there's a spot right here for where this is going to set down. And that's where it was when you first deployed it. So you're just returning it back there. That's its home position for when you're traveling and you've got the awning put away. So from here, we're going to go back to the other side and lower it and do the same thing with its arm. So moving back to this side, to the back, same thing as I did over there. So I'm going to use tension to bring this down to that point there. So now it's back in home. I'm going to release this. Now from here, I want to keep one hand right here. I'm going to keep my left hand here because I'm right-handed. And that's to hold this arm, hold the awning out and deployed. So from there, I'll bring this up and it's going to sit right there into home, back into home. And then from here, I'm going to grab onto that fabric just like I did before and walk back to the middle. Release this and let it fall down. And now I can hold on to this so I can reach down and pick up my awning arm. And from here, I can just slowly let the awning back into place. And I'll attach it there and let it right up into place. It's that easy. And then from this position, if you were staying at the campsite, that's a fairly loud truck there. If you're staying at the campsite, you're not leaving, you can pretty much leave it there. But if you wanted to, just to be safe, I've already got the awning arm in my hand. I can just lock that back in place. And now the awning is technically locked in place. It's not gonna pop out, even though it really wouldn't, because the springs that are in the arm is really holding it against the coach. So this is all you need to do as far as the campsite. We've got a few more days left. Now, if I'm leaving the campsite, now I want to put the travel locks back into place. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, putting the travel lock in place, it's not too difficult, but it would be easier if I had a step stool and I could reach it. But if I don't, I can still do it. So I'm going to press down, kind of level these out a little bit so I can throw that back up there. Oh, there we go. And then same thing as before, I want to have the arm about 3/4 of the way up so I can kind of have more control of it. And then same thing, I'm just going to kind of work it around. Until it's in place. This is real time, I'm not fast forwarding or anything. Oh, went the wrong way. And that's locked in place. That's it. Now, travel locks, the center travel lock I've already got in place. So I'm going to walk over and do the front travel lock now. So moving to the front side, you're going to see how much easier it is. So, if you have a step stool, that is definitely the way to go. So now that's locked in place. It's safe for you to drive down the road. This will not come out. It's tight against the coach. It's locked in place. 3 different locks to hold this awning, so very safe. Now, the first probably 5 times that you use this awning, you're going to think, what did I do to myself? Why did I buy this manual awning, this coach with this manual awning on? By the 10th time, you're going to think, no, it's not that bad. It's really not. Okay, I'm getting the hang of it. I understand it. By the 15th or so time, by that point, you're going to be very happy with your purchase. You're going to be glad you have it. It's easy to use. You know how to use it. There's an airplane flying above. And you'll be happy about it because it's a manual awning. It's kind of the true what RVing is meant to be. It's not meant to be just glamping. There's supposed to be some rough in it. Even though you're in a luxury Airstream, there's still some rough in it to it with this awning. And that's one of the things I like about it, about the manual awning. And it's mechanical. There's nothing electronic that can break. There's no motors to wear out over time. This is something that's going to last the lifetime of the coach. And if you have a question, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer that comment. My info is in the description as well, so you can reach out that way as far as the Zip Dee awning goes. But this is the Zip Dee manual awning that comes on the Bambi, the Caravelle, and the Flying Cloud Airstream travel trailers. All right.